Good morning, YouTube. Tire Metalhead Weatherman here. Hopefully, you guys are doing well. So, did a stream last night. Over 500 severe reports total for the day. Pretty interesting one. No tornado reports as of right now, even though there were a few observed tagged tornado warnings earlier. So, interesting to see how all that goes down. But it seems like there was at least one confirmed tornado over here towards Colorado, Oklahoma line, and then there was rumored report of a tornado over here towards Philly, or not Philadelphia, but over towards Pennsylvania here, northwestern Pennsylvania. We'll see what happens here. Philly actually got wind damage, though, apparently. But pretty widespread event. Haven't heard too much in the way of injuries, but flooding has also been a pretty big problem, too. And we could expect that to continue through today, as there's also a slight risk for flooding, which we'll get into momentarily, along with this marginal risk up north. So the marginal risk up north, unfortunately, includes Montpelier, which has been hit really hard by flooding recently. There was even a rare high risk that was issued for that area not too long ago. But New York City, Philadelphia, we're just outside of Bmore and Washington here. We got Springfield, Mass, and Albany in here as well in this marginal risk. Big act here is the MCS that's going to be associated with this slight risk here. It's actually ongoing already, and we'll get a look at that on radar just in a moment. But my area is in here once again. Atlanta, it's the second day in a row that we've been in a slight risk. Columbus, Macon, you're in there as well. Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, you're in this slight risk as well. Memphis, Tennessee. I'm going to say Starkville, Mississippi. I think you might be on the fringe here, but you're a little bit more to the north. And then just to the east of Little Rock is where that slight risk exists. Marginal risk even stretches all the way back towards Tulsa here and goes as far south as Dothan, Alabama, and even Jacksonville, Florida. Charleston, can't disinclude you as well. Then over here towards the far west around the Western High Plains, Cheyenne, Denver, Pueblo, Santa Fe, you guys are in this marginal risk here. There's no TOR threat today. Well, actually, scratch that. It's a recent update. 2% TOR risk over here in this small little span over here from Springfield, Mass, all the way towards just east of Baltimore. Philly's in there, New York City's in there, and many others. Probably a few million in that one at the very least. But, well, actually 29 million to be exact. But that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the wind. Only the slight risk has the 15% area, of course, and then our marginal risk are completely covered with the wind threat, which will most likely be the big story today, if any at all, will be wind. There is a 5% hail threat in all these regions, so we'll also have to be on the lookout. Don't expect anything too big in the way of hail, so we're not going to be concerned about that. But that being said here, flooding is going to be a bigger topic, where we see three different areas for not moderate, but slight risk. Can't speak today. But that being said here, Santa Fe's in this first one. Albuquerque's just on the fringe of this slight risk for flooding. This MCS is going to be the main event when it comes to flooding potential is concerned. However, there's going to be a couple of rounds of storms over here towards the northeast here. Unfortunately, this includes Montpelier. Concord, you're just on the outside of this. Albany, you've been hit pretty hard with rain recently, as well as Springfield, Hartford, Waterbury, Bridgeport, New York, Edison, Trenton, and numerous others. Atlantic City, Dover. All of you guys need to be on the lookout for changing weather conditions and flooded roadways. It would be best not to drive through those. Turn around, don't drown is the quote. So that being said, let's go ahead and take a quick look at the model so I can go ahead and get ready for work real quick. But as a whole, as far as the setup is concerned for today, not really a whole lot going on there. There is a tiny little trough that develops here. Like I said, this is going to pretty much be a lifting agent for other storms to develop here throughout the day across this region. But as far as a robust severe weather itself, not going to see it. There's going to be chances for wind, there's going to be chances for hail, but as far as a tornado outbreak, anything like that is concerned, I wouldn't be too worried. We're going to look at it from multiple heights here. This is probably going to be where things are the most favorable here. Going to see an MCS, which is already really developed at this point. And we'll take a look at that on satellite in just a second here. But you can see that it's a little trough that tries to develop here at the 500 millibar range by early to mid afternoon. It's moderately strong, but not going to be. None of the other ingredients are really going to be there for it to be impactful enough at the moment. At best, if you're lucky, you may even see a 2% upgrade on the tornado threat. Like I said, nothing really robust going on as far as today's setup is concerned. Looking at the 700 for a shortwave, there's a decent one, but nothing crazy there. It's not a super strong shortwave, so again, like I said, nothing really go off of here. Here's where our tornado juice would be at the 850 millibar, and like I said, timing is not really there. It's really just more or less the shortwave with this than anything else here, so not too concerned as far as the kinematics are concerned. Looking at the whole country as a whole, we already know this. It's summertime. It's going to be hot, so brace yourselves. It's going to be hot over towards my area where we're looking in the 90s. 120 over here towards the desert, man. It's been baking over here, and we're hoping we can get some relief here soon. And then, of course, across the rest of the country, plenty of 80s, plenty of 90s, especially, surprisingly, we're seeing triple digits even as far into the northwest, which is unbelievable. Who would have thought you would see triple digits on the fringes of Montana and Washington and Oregon here? That's pretty crazy. Also Idaho, we can't disinclude them. But yeah, it's hot. There's nothing to really say there. No real meteorological term needed to describe it. It's just hot. And for a lot of places, it's also really humid. So over here towards the southeast in particular, I've been working in it day after day, 70-degree plus dew points. And we're going to see more of that persistent throughout today. 70s aren't quite as widespread as they've been, which is good news, but a lot of us, some places even towards Bama here, in fact, you can still see a couple of 80-degree dew points right here. That's this color right here, just in case you were wondering. But the 70 and 80-degree dew points are still pretty widespread. In fact, you can even see some in Louisiana at points too, especially as we get later into the evening. So if you're going to be outside, make sure you're drinking plenty of water. Don't try to avoid being outside for extended periods of time. If you're an outdoor worker, then just do your best to stay hydrated, and if needed be, take more breaks. But that's pretty much what we're looking like as far as dew points are concerned here. And then if we look at severe parameters, we're mainly going to be focusing on this region here. Everywhere else had kind of more moderate to lower CAPE. And here's where our current MCS is right now. We still have plenty of intense CAPE here, above 3,000 joules per kilogram at the mixed layer. As we go later into the afternoon and into the evening, plenty of ample CAPE around the area, at least 1,300 to 1,500 plus easily. Usually 1,000 is about a good threshold point for severe weather. We're well above that at this point, so could see a couple of different rounds of storms possibly over this region before this is all set and done. So now with that being said, we'll take a look at the satellite really quickly. And here's where our MCS is. It's going to be causing a first round of storms, and then here's our second round right here. So going to have to keep an extra close eye on both of these for the potential for severe weather. Like I said, damaging winds, hail, main threat. Could, like I said, the second round later tonight across this region could be the one that has a tornado chance, but mainly thinking it would be damaging winds. It would not surprise me if this area did get upgraded to a slight risk, but likelihood of it, I'm kind of 50-50 on it at this time. But last but not least, of course, let's go ahead and take a look at what the radar could look like in the future. So here we are looking at what would be about current time here. Storms are already starting to actually move into Arkansas right now, and then as time goes on, you do see a little segment begin to bow out here, and this could be what causes our storms over here towards Memphis, maybe a little bit of severe potential. Then as time goes on, we'll watch this head off to the south and east. Eventually, we could see storms heading into Alabama and then into Georgia by the late evening and overnight hours. Temperatures aren't going to really drop off too much, so brace yourselves. At the very least, if you don't get severe weather, you're going to probably get some loud booms. Let's check out our marginal risk areas too, just for good measure. We'll look at the northeast. This is our first round of rain, and then look what happens because we have this upper level low, and this is also the catalyst behind our tornado chance. This is later in the afternoon. Another little line of storms develops, and then pretty much after that, we're done. And this is what's going to help keep the flood threat low. If this consolidated a little more and slowed down a bit, I would be a little bit more concerned. And of course, towards the western plains, looking in the same areas once again. Here's that MCS from yesterday coming out. Then we get a couple isolated pockets of storm, nothing too crazy. Could see a little bit of damaging winds produced, but as far as tornadoes are concerned, risk is relatively low. But we'll see what happens, of course, with this as well. But that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. You found it useful. If you did, you know what to do. Hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and also hit that share button if you could. But anyway, this has been Tyler Metalhead Weatherman. I'll see you guys in the next video. Probably will be tonight. We'll do a weekend forecast, and then we'll go on from that point. Till then, take care and have a nice day.